Good morning and welcome to Medellin, Colombia, where today we are going to be going on a Pablo Escobar tour. Let's do this. We are back in El Palado, which is like the main touristy area, and we start outside the church. This is like a big pickup point for loads of different tours.
1971. The official report says we have the search all around this place. And doing to your left, we have a creek right. This is Pablo Escobar lying on the roof there.
Okay, so we drove about 20 minutes to the site of where Pablo Escobar died, and to start the tour guide was saying that there's obviously a lot of these tours and some of them sort of glorify Pablo Escobar, and that's not the goal of this one. It's to give you sort of factual information, and the same thing with the government trying to stop some of these tours as well. They're extremely interesting, and this is actually the house where Pablo Escobar was shot, and down the road is where Narcos was filmed, the scene where he does get shot. But this one here, the people that own it said you're not allowed to film here if there's anything to do with Pablo Escobar. Extremely interesting, a lot of information. Let's go.
We have here, this wall is about the political life of Pablo Escobar, the 400.
I wish I had so much money that I needed scales to weigh it. That's crazy. So this was Pablo Escobar's estate, and apparently he used to just jump out of the helicopter into the pool, and they'd even send the helicopter back to Medellin, which was like 5 hours, just to come and get burgers or whatever to bring back to the main farm. This was actually one of the saves, and they were saying that the money used to be buried underground, but some people actually converted it to diamonds and gold to bury it underground because the paper would like disintegrate, and people still to today is finding like gold and diamonds underground, and the remnants of like the money that's all disintegrated. And apparently Pablo Escobar painted this half black and half red, so if they were caught by the police when doing bank robberies and stuff, some people would see it as a black one and some people would see it as a red one, just to cause confusion. So far it's been extremely interesting learning about all of this, and it's interesting to see that like half the people here in Medellin see Pablo Escobar as like a really good important figure who helped loads of people, and the other half see him as a really bad drug lord. I didn't realize actually that Pablo Escobar did so much like social housing projects. Apparently he built like hundreds of houses and helped loads of the lower class people here in Medellin. We've not actually seen the Narcos series on Netflix, but apparently it's like 30% of the truth, so we're getting the sort of real insights here. Extremely interesting, and I'm kind of glad I've not seen the fake version on Netflix and we're actually getting the real story here from locals. Our guide has actually lived through it and lived in Medellin while this was all happening. And also I thought Pablo Escobar was right at the top. Now he was, but he was also in line with 7 other people who were equally as important with the whole cartel, and there's this whole like pyramid structure, and there was even one guy above all of them who was kind of behind the scenes pulling all the strings. So yeah, this is like extremely interesting. Obviously Pablo was like the face of so much of all this cartel stuff. We're in this little museum now. This is actually in Comuna 13, which we're coming back to tomorrow, which is a whole nother area to explore, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that video. Let's get back to our tour. This museum's actually owned by Pablo Escobar's niece and helped run by his sister. And apparently these are the gifts that Pablo Escobar had given to his niece. So there's like an old school Disney TV and some cameras, and these are actually items bought by Pablo. There's loads of little memorabilia and stuff around, which is actually real Pablo items. Even over here there's like his medicine and stuff. What do you think, Eb?
It's very strange.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, like this guy was literally a drug lord who killed loads of people. Yeah, there's also I'll show you this book as well, which was written by his sister, and it's now been banned by the government because it obviously talks about Pablo's situation and politicians and everything. So this is actually one of the windows of Pablo Escobar's mother's house where she was shot at with real bullet holes, and there's also a photo opportunity to be like Pablo with the hair. And at the end there was like a whole gift shop of loads of Pablo Escobar merch. Now, our guide was saying that there is a lot of pushback from the government trying to remove a lot of these, like Pablo Escobar museums and things, and apparently 3 of them got demolished like a couple of years ago because they don't want to promote Pablo Escobar and the drug trade to a younger generation, which completely makes sense. I'm very torn. I feel like you need to learn about this stuff to know what happened in history, but I wouldn't say it's promoting it, but it's not always portraying him in a negative way. About a 45-minute drive, and we've made it to a bit more of a somber part of the trip where we are in a graveyard and we are going to see Pablo Escobar's grave. So that was Griselda Blanco, who was the lady who taught Pablo Escobar how to run the drug cartel, and she was in prison for 20 years in America, and then as she came back to Medellin, she was killed in a drive-by the same way she invented in the first place. And a lot of these graves that we're visiting have flowers on, and they're actually put down by an ex-hitman for the cartel who also does tours now.
Alright, my friends, this is the Pablo Escobar graveyard right here. Landing right here. This is Pablo Escobar. Here is Luis Fernando, his small brother. He was killed in a car crash when he got 18 years old. Then we have one of the sisters. We have Doña Hermilda Gaviria, his mother. His father, Abel de Jesus Escobar, the nanny.
Our final stop is Memorial Park here. Now, this used to be one of Pablo Escobar's estates until a car bomb was let off by one of the other cartels just outside the entrance, and it was left abandoned with all of the cars in the big car park and the gold and the artwork. And then eventually the government took down the whole building as a bit of a statement to say we won't stand for the cartels, and now it is a memorial for all the people that lost their lives in the cartels and as a result of all of this. This wall all the way along here has 46,000 individual holes to represent the 46,000 people that died as a result of the cartels. And on the other side of the wall here is an actual timeline as we go through. There's lots of different areas, like here this is a bomb that went off, and there's many as we keep going along here. And this is all across Colombia. There's some from Bogota, Medellin, everywhere. This is a monument for all of the police officers that also lost their lives during all of this, and the tour guide was saying about 40% of them actually quit and left the police force, and the other 60% all started fighting amongst each other. And Pablo Escobar actually put out a reward of like $100 for each police officer killed and $5,000 for each special forces killed. So what crazy times. This was back in the 80s at this point. Police officer statue. And we just spent another load of time on the bus all the way throughout the journey. We're getting loads of information from our tour guide, which has been amazing. You can check out this exact tour with the link in the description to get your guide tickets. Highly recommended. It was like $25 each, and probably been one of the best tours we've done on our big trip. Loads of information, especially a lot of local insight from our tour guide. And we've been dropped back at El Palado, which is like a really touristy area. Pavlito?
Pavlado.
That's what I said, didn't I?
No.
We're here at the touristy bit. There's loads of shops and restaurants and stuff. We're not staying in this area, we're staying in a different hotel. But we're going to explore the shops here, and first of all we're going to grab some food, and then we'll talk about the tour. Okay, we've stopped at
Betty's Bowls.
And we just had the most incredible bagel I think I've had in a long time.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really good, highly recommended. But the tour,
It was a bit weird.
like it's like 50-50. Like half the time is like Pablo was a good guy, half the time is a bad guy. The guy gave us a really good sort of mix of opinions of like positive and negative and local and like international, and yeah, I think it was a really well-rounded tour.
Yeah, I agree. You could see it from all perspectives, but he was saying the film on Netflix Narcos is like 20% or 10% accurate to what actually happened in real life. So he's like, don't believe all of that and glorify it and la la la.
Yeah, and then to see things like the memorial and the grave and stuff in real life was very, I don't know, odd, like to see it for your own eyes and like be there.
Yeah, it was weird. There was like people getting a picture, like a whole family getting a picture on the gravesite. Then there was like a hitman, an ex-hitman that was there cleaning up the grave. It's so strange, like.
Yeah, to think like all these people that have been murdered and stuff as a result of this and everything around it. But I don't know, like he did do a lot of good with building loads of social housing projects and things, and a lot of the money going back into Colombia, but obviously from a bad thing. So I don't know, yeah, interesting. Definitely recommend the tour.
Yeah, the tour, that particular tour was really good with, the guy was called Louis.
Yeah.
Luis. So yeah, recommend going with him.
Now we're going to do some shopping around
El Poblado.
Let's do it. We've just found like a really cool touristy restaurant street called Provines. That one. Really nice looking restaurants, good little shops, and there's loads of these little like boutique shops around here. Even like some local Colombian designers and stuff, which is really cool. We've been wandering for about half an hour now, and there are so many little nice shops and parks and things all the way around. This is definitely like the best place to stay, I would say, and also it feels very safe and a little bit touristy. So I don't know if this is like the real side of Medellin, but there's lots of these like fancy hotels, and it's very nice. And next we have come to
Santa Fe Mall.
And it looks pretty big and pretty nice, but it's definitely not as good as the mall next to us where we're staying in Torosso. We're staying in a really nice hotel. If you want to check out that video, you can click up here and see the mall and everything nearby. Oh, Ed wants to go here. But you guys are not going to suffer with me, so I'm going to end things here. Thank you for checking out the tour with us. Drop a comment if you want to know anything about the tour. And for more Colombia vlogs and South America in general, don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you somewhere in Colombia tomorrow. Boom.